Chaz Mostert. We're on the Gold Coast, your backyard. We're getting personal for Morris. This is not a bad place to live, mate. It's a nice part of the world.
Yeah, I've been back up here since about 2016, so lived a few years in Melbourne and early on in my career, but I always, Brisbane and Queensland was home, and then I always wanted to live on the Gold Coast because pretty much what you can see behind us here is so nice. Even if it is a bad day on the Gold Coast, it still feels like it's still a pretty nice place to be.
Now, we don't want to talk understeer, oversteer, lap times. We want to get to know you a bit more outside the racetrack. How important is getting away from those long, hard days at the track, the good days at the track? They're pretty wild race weeks. How important for you once you get back here is to get away from it all?
Yeah, I suppose every driver's different, what they need to balance their racing life, I suppose. For me, the best way I found it is try and get as far away as possible after the race weekends and then reflect on it with my friends and family and then refresh between the rounds. It is so important for me to make sure we can keep turning up each week strong. So some guys just want to be in racing every weekend that they can, but myself, I'm like, there's a big family element to how I go racing.
I want to touch on that family element. They obviously play a really big role and have probably your whole career. How important is having that support network around you?
Oh, it's massive. Like I said, you could have a really bad weekend racing, not get the results you want, and especially now that I've got a beautiful little daughter, 6 months old, you walk in the door, you didn't get the result you wanted on the weekend, and then one little smile and you realise that there's so much other bigger picture stuff to life than just competing at the highest level. So yeah, as much as every race weekend I put the helmet on, I want to drive as fast as I can and beat the other 24, 25 other loose drivers out there as well. Family life's everything for me.
Has it changed this year? You become a dad, little Everly at home, Ree at home. Has it changed your perception on things and how you go about it?
Yeah, I think it just strengthens what I already had. Like I've had an amazing partner with Rianne for how you're testing me out. I think it's coming up to 8 years now. So she's been a massive support for a long time there. But now we've got this beautiful little family together, and we're going to the next chapter of our lives. It's I just feel like racing is getting more balanced with that. It's so awesome, and I'm looking forward to the day when she's a little bit older, little Everly's a little bit older, and we can come and enjoy some of those things. Like you probably look up to guys like Larry Perkins and Jack, and seeing those like early days photos of them at the racetrack and stuff like that. It's pretty cool to be able to take your family away racing, and yeah, for me it helps me massively mentally.
We love your dad. We love having you in the garage, Eddie. Has it made you appreciate the role he played in your journey and getting you to where you are?
I think it takes, I feel like most adults till they get to 30 and then they have their own little kid and you go, okay, now I kind of understand maybe what I meant to my parents or vice versa. So yeah, it probably makes me think, geez, I wish I wasn't such a pain in the bum a lot of the time for Dad growing up. But yeah, like he's sacrificed so much to get to where I am today, and yeah, just so grateful that he believed in me probably more than what I did of myself. So yeah, in sitting here today, it's obviously all worked out well. There's plenty of other stories of athletes out there, or race car drivers, or sports people that haven't quite got to where they wanted to go, and their family sacrificed everything. And but I think that's just what you do for your kids.
All right, who's your biggest inspiration throughout your career, do you think?
Well, other than yourself, Andrew. For me in racing, it'd have to really be Glenn Seaton, Craig Lowndes, like two elements of those guys. Just the way Cedo would always just scruff the neck of a car and just send it across Bathurst. Watching some of them slick laps on a wet track in some of the old touring cars is just unbelievable. I don't know how he kept it off the fence, but and then you got Lowndesy, his persona and just how he is with fans and people. It's hard not to like the guy.
Morris is all about more life, less admin. When you get back from the track, you get a day to yourself. What's Chaz Mostert get up to? Is it out here? Is it on the water if you can?
I have over the last couple of years spent a little bit of time on the water. I probably don't get out as much as I should anymore. It's definitely changed a bit since having a little 6-month-old now, but I think it's just trying to, pretty simply, just try and get some food down somewhere at a cafe and either go for a stroll. And when you spend so much time in motels or on aeroplanes or even tucked up in a race car, it's pretty nice just to get out and stretch your legs. And if it's go down to the dog park, take a couple of Shih Tzus down there, it's pretty low key really.
You strike me as a simple guy, and it's the simple pleasures that probably get you through from race weekend to race weekend. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that would probably be pretty fair.
So we're on the Motion One boat. If you got the keys to this for a day, where are you going?
Ooh, my favourite place here is I head up towards Stratty and go to Tipplers. Basically, there's a bar up there, and you can get a nice feed and in a nice little cove, and then you anchor the boat up and then get a little tender or just swim across if it's on a nice hot day.
That's a pretty good way to wrap up part one, mate. We might get the boat fired up and go find a new spot. What do you reckon?
Sounds good.
Chaz, welcome back. Part two of Getting Personal, thanks to Morris. It's been a big year for you on and off track. And just to mix it all up, you decided to start your own race team as well. Talk me through that one.
I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest with that one, but no, we got a team called Method Motorsport, and we're running in the GT4 Championship this year. It's the first year of the GT4 Championship. I run under SRO, so for me, it all kind of just aligned that perfect opportunity to get in a new category, a category that I think's really, really cool. GT4 into GT3. I've raced some GT3s around the world, and I just love that type of category. You know, so I saw a good opportunity to have some young drivers come in and drive some McLaren Arturas, and McLaren was awesome. They got really right behind us, and yeah, next thing we're running the team, and we decided to do the first event, which was Bathurst 12 Hour at the start of the year, just to really throw ourselves in the deep end. But having a ball with it, it's really rewarding. See some young drivers come through, what they're doing. We also do some services for Porsche as well with Shane Smolin and Lockie Manif. So it's been pretty exciting year.
Be honest, has it given you a different appreciation of what goes into getting a car and getting a race team to a track?
Well, it's been a long time since I used to be on the workshop floor when I first started my career, and I think what's so good about that when a driver does that, you realise actually how much goes into it, but there's definitely no secret. I haven't been probably on the workshop floor for quite an amount of years. So yeah, it was really refreshing again just to know exactly all the different roles you got to do in behind the scenes and try and pull something all together to get to a racetrack. So yeah, I definitely feel a bit more appreciation towards our team at Warwickshire and United this year.
What have you tried to bring into that team that sort of stems back to WAU? It's a real family culture, obviously, in the Supercars team. Have you tried to carry that across to Method?
Yeah, a lot of it. I think just like keep morale high when things aren't going well, and make sure we're having fun and travelling as a little family. Obviously, Supercars has about 50 or 60 involved in the team, and our team's pretty much got one full-time mechanic, and then you know, maybe 12 people come away racing with us. So you know, I think we have a lot of fun. That is our culture that I've definitely probably taken away from Warwickshire and United. And you know, it's amazing to be able to race cars, but you want to have fun while you're doing it.
Now, be honest, we've seen you in the garage during endurance events, and you're a pretty nervous watcher. What's it like when you're running your own race team and you're in the garage almost powerless to what's going out on track? Yeah,
it's probably a little different. I think in the Supercars, they definitely get pretty nervous watching the car go around in the Enduros, and just because you know you got 25 really strong combinations out there, and anything can go wrong in a second. So it's probably a little bit of a control freak. I like to be out there probably behind the wheel more than watching. But then when the race team side of things in the GTs, I'm more probably stressed that make sure the team and myself are giving our amazing drivers the tools that they need to achieve what they can, because we do have some you know, pretty fast steerers, and you know, as a team when you're running that kind of thing, you just want to make sure that you do your job to the party, and yeah, go from there.
What's it like? I'm not going to say you're old, but you're experienced. What's it like seeing some young kids coming through and being able to mould and shape them? You probably see it with Woody as well, but on this side of the fence too. Yeah,
I think the biggest thing you see is there's so many different personalities, different drivers, and how they go racing. So there's probably a lot of drivers that has a similar background to me, or they'd go about their racing the same way I can relate to. And then there's some other guys that are you know, just wired differently how they go racing, that probably need probably some other help from some other drivers that are similar to those guys. So it's tricky just trying to work out how I can best support those guys throughout those race weekends. But yeah, and it's pretty awesome to be a little bit older, watching some young guys come through, and the talent that they have is something pretty special. So just for us to be involved with a race team now and try and help bring that through and try and create those opportunities for them, it would be really awesome to be sitting here one day and say, well, I helped this young guy become a professional race car driver just by, you know, probably not doing too much, but just giving him the opportunity to drive a fast car and try and support him off track. Seat time, it's a buzzword in our game, and you've got a hell of a lot of it this year, between owning the team, driving the Ferrari, driving the Supercar.
You must be pretty comfortable behind the wheel and how many laps you've done this year. It's a heck of a lot of time you spend at a racetrack.
Yeah, a lot of time behind the wheel, a lot of different cars as well with different driving styles. So, you know, this Gen 3 era, in the second year of this now, Supercars, it's so different than what we have done in the last 10 years of the sport. So even though the tyres are the same, but the whole car concept's changed from aerodynamics to the car weight to the, you know, more of a mechanical type built supercar. So it's taking a bit to get my head around a little bit more than some of the young guys that are just coming straight into that. But I feel like this year we've done a pretty good job and really bolstered that up. So we'll see how we go for the rest of the year.
Speaking of, I saw a nice shiny Ford F-Truck out in the car park. Why don't we go jump in and go for a drive and tackle part 3? Chaz, part 3. We're back on land. We're back in the Ford F-150. You're a big truck guy, aren't you?
I'm a big truck guy. Once you go to a big truck, it's kind of hard to go back. So I did love my Raptor, but I am a big F-Truck type of guy. So yeah, I feel like it suits me. I'm looking forward to road tripping in this a bit more. And yeah, it's a beautiful car. So it's so good to see the F-150s here now in Australia.
Let's talk at the racetrack without talking racetrack. So I want to ask you, new teammate this year, we've all seen the dynamic between you two. What's it like having the young Kiwi, as we call him, keeping you on your toes around the garage?
Yeah, it's definitely been a different dynamic for the team this year. Not only our second year of Gen 3, but obviously bringing on a young superstar of the sport in the making. Everyone saw what he was able to do in development series in 1 year and the speed he showed, and everyone's been able to see this year the speed he's able to show as well. So he's definitely keeping me really honest behind the scenes, and you know, there's plenty of stuff that I look in his driving to make sure that I'm getting the most out of the car as well. And I think it's a good dynamic. You have someone that's a little bit older that I can try and give as much experience as I can, and give him pointers on not to make the same mistakes that I made early in my career. But you know, he's a real talent to the future.
Do you see some similarities in yourself and what he's going through and what you went through, probably with Frosty as your senior teammate back in the day?
Yeah, I think definitely a few trends for sure. I feel like not every driver's obviously the same or go about their business how they race. But what I like about Ryan is he's the guy you meet behind the scenes is what he is on camera, and he does the same with his racing. He's super cheeky, he's super talented. He races really, really hard, and I think there's a lot, like probably the similarities is probably how hard he races, and that's how kind of hard I race as well. So yeah, it's pretty good, and the experience, like, pretty much the wisdom he's also brought this year, and you know, fitting in, and you know, what we did at Perth together, and how he really helped the team get that win there. And that's really hard for some young guys to do that, but he put the team ahead of himself, and that's pretty big.
I want to talk about results, because the sport's a roller coaster. It's not beat around the bush. There's some high highs and some low lows. When you step away from the racetrack, how do you balance yourself out again and reset and go again?
Well, it can be tricky. I mean, if you're out there winning races, it's very easy because you're just itching to get back in the car. But when you've got work to do and it's not getting the results you want, it's you know, it's easy to take that work home with you. So I'm very lucky that I live interstate from the team, and I've got great friends and family around me up here in Queensland. So for me, it's just sometimes you just need to get away from it a little bit, and we're lucky that we probably only have 13 rounds for the year, and there's enough time between each race to get yourself ready again. I don't know how guys in Formula One do it, where you know, they're back-to-back. They could have 3 back-to-back race weekends, and you're like, you know, knowing that they're probably going to have the same package for the next three weeks, it'd be like really, really tough. Where us, it's like we got 3 or 4 weeks to work on a new setup or work on a new direction, and also digest exactly what happened on that last race weekend. So we're very unique.
Where does the hunger come from? I personally think you look as hungry as you ever have, and as determined as you ever have. How do you keep that high level of determination up across your career?
It's just the competition. Like you turn up every week in Supercars, and you know that the category's got such amazing drivers that we've even been able to see a couple of drivers go overseas now and show the caliper that the series does have when it races, you know, quite tight here as well. So you know, you got guys like Cam Waters, that he is super hard to beat. You've got guys like Will Brown, which is everyone being able to see what he's done the last couple of years now and what he's been doing this year. So there's plenty of guys too that on their weekend they're really hard to beat, and I think the level of competition is what just keeps driving you to come back each year and keep trying to get this, win a championship is what we all are here to do, and win Bathurst and stuff like that. And until you do it, you'll just never give up, and you hopefully be in a position one day to do it and say, wow, what an awesome year. But for me, no matter what happens this year, I'm really proud of how the team has been this year and how we've got ourselves back into getting some really good results and consistent results, and even to be talked about in a position to be fighting for the championship is something that we should be really proud of. And so we'll keep pushing all the way to the death knock, and we'll see what we got. But it's all balanced, just really more from getting away, reflecting, and having an awesome family.
I'm going to put you on the spot with the last question. You're 50 years old, you're at the front bar at the pub, you're having a Woodstock. When someone asks you what your career highlight to date will be, what do you think the moment will pop out first in your mind?
I think it always reflects around Bathurst generally. So I've been so lucky to win it twice. And when people say like, oh, you're not lucky, you were fast and this, like, but Bathurst race and what happens in that day, like, you do need a lot of lady luck on your side for it. And it can either be completely against you, or you go into a race like I was in 2014 and you don't even think you're a shot at all to win it when you're starting off the last row of the grid. And you can win something like that. There's just the unpredictability of that race is something really cool. And if you're ever lucky enough to win it and stand on that top step, and your dream was always about going racing supercars, there's no better feeling. You just wish that podium would last for 12 months. Standing up there, just not the 2 minutes that you do.
Well, let's hope there's more of that to come. Thanks for joining us, thanks for being open, thanks to Morris for their support as well, but yeah, we better get into the racetrack.
Let's get after it.